and he's here to share some of Atlassian's best Agile practices. He's come all the way from Germany to deliver the presentation, so give him a round of applause to get started.
Thanks. All right. You doing fine after Summit Bash? Yeah, everything fresh? Fresh again? Good. Good. So you learned actually the first way how to make a good team great. Bring them to Summit Bash and have free beers and free drinks. So that's the first way how to make a good team great. Have fun together. So this is about team motivation, the talk. So I will just start with myself. So I'm Sven. I'm working as an ambassador for Atlassian in Germany. And I'm all over Europe speaking about Atlassian, what we do differently in software development. That's what I do. If you have a thing that you tried and which made your good team really great, please tweet me at SvenPat is my Twitter handle. And so let's get started. So I had all the 7 things in my mind when I had wanted to do this talk for Summit. I had all the 7 things in my mind, but then I needed a title. So I came up with some titles, and this was actually my first title: How to Make Software Teams Great. Who's working here in a software team? Wow, that's all of you, nearly. Yeah, good, great. And I thought this is a great title, software teams. I've been working for a long time with software teams, so I thought this is a great title. But then I thought a little bit, and we had this Agile revolution in the last years. So we value the customer more. We're making short feedback cycles, all these things. So I thought, okay, this has to be reflected. I mean, we have to do that. So I was thinking about calling the talk like this: How to Make Agile Team Great. Who's working in an Agile team? Half of you, good. Yeah, but then I thought, and I'm meeting a lot of people, a lot of teams, coming to a lot of companies, and have conversations about Agile. And really, some Agile teams really suck. They say they're doing Agile, but actually they suck. They're not. It's not working for them. So I thought, yeah, well. And I know actually some teams that are doing waterfall, and they're doing pretty well. And these 7 things, or 7 ways how to make good teams great, they will help them too. So I came up with that title: How to Make Good Teams Great. Who's working in a good team? Yeah, you will be great after that talk. Sure, your team. So I'm a geek. I'm a software developer. So I wanted to know, when was I last time doing a really great job? When I was so motivated doing a great job? What do we need to make a great job as a software developer? So in short terms, when I was in programmer's heaven. So this is actually always when I say, okay, good. I work kick-ass product. A kick-ass product. So when I have the customer in my mind when doing my software development, I think, oh, when he uses this will make him so great. It will make him so good if he uses this. Then I'm totally motivated. I'm pumped, and if I have him so in my mind. And then the other thing is I work for a kick-ass team. When I work with a kick-ass team together, a team that says, hey, we kick ass, we have the same values, we want to make the customer really great, then actually everything else is not so important anymore. So if I have these 2 things, kick-ass product, kick-ass team, then I'm actually in programmer's heaven. I'm totally motivated. I'm doing a great job then. So what are companies doing to get us into that position that we're doing a great job? So what are they doing? Well, they give us money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've studied for a long time. I think I'm doing a good job, so they have to pay me. They have to do that. I mean, really. But I'm talking about bonus payments. Well, I've done a job where my boss said, okay, you get a bonus payment if you bring out the software, you release the software until October. Then you get a bonus payment. that doesn't motivate me to make a kick-ass product, to make a really good product, to make a good job, to make the customer great. It actually just motivates me to get my bonus payment. I'm just getting the software out in October. Yeah, who cares if it works or not? I just want to have my bonus payment. Yeah, that doesn't motivate me. So bonus payments just motivates for bonus payment. That's just it. What else are companies doing? Well, they're actually putting a lot of money in getting the right people, getting the best talents. So I've been working for a company, and we spent, I don't know, 20,000 euros just for advertising and getting the right people. And then we spent also a lot of time doing interviews with candidates. So we spent maybe 2 hours per candidate doing the interview and repeat the interview and all these things. And then we found the best guy for this job. We found him. And what we did then was we put them behind prison bars. Yeah. So it's really, so we had the rule in our company, before I worked for Atlassian, I must say. So we had the rule that we had to come to the office we have to be at the office between 9 and 4. So between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. we had to be at the office. And I had some team members who were really doing good. They were really doing good. They went to work in the evening. And they had problems getting up in the morning, so they came in the morning like this, and then went home at 5 o'clock or something. So we really set them behind prison bars. And another thing, we had a guy. He came in and he said, "I want to use IntelliJ IDEA," so his favorite program environment. And we said we don't have budget for that, so we can't pay you a license because we're using Eclipse here. Everybody's using Eclipse. Great. But he was so productive with IntelliJ. So really, we have to think about that. These are just stupid rules. Stupid rules that really doesn't motivate us to do a great job. So what else can we do? I mean, I'm a poor software developer staying here. So what can we do? Well, we can stand up, saying, "Hey, revolution! From tomorrow, we change everything. We're gonna come to work whenever we want. We want to work wherever we want. We buy the best products we can get. Yay!" Well, we all know what happened in the French Revolution, don't we? Really, people lost their head. Okay, these times are luckily over. People don't lose their heads anymore, but you can easily lose your job if you do that. What else can we do? So I had also some colleagues who were just sitting around and complaining all the time. "Oh, the stupid management, they will never change." Yeah, but that doesn't help us either. So really, at Atlassian we have 5 values, and this is one of our values: be the change you seek. Should be the change yourself. Try to make it small. Make a small change and try to let it grow. Okay, I've been talking now for 8 minutes now, and now you're here for the 7 ways how to make good teams great, and I'm going to start with that. And so the first thing I'm telling you is about flow time. Well, flow is the time when you're totally highly concentrated. When you're so concentrated for example, as a software developer, that you have the software architecture, the software design in your head. You just see interfaces, abstract classes. I put the method in here. It's really about productivity. You're so productive. You're really so productive, and that you're in the flow. And then if somebody taps on your shoulder and interrupts you, your productivity is gone. It's totally gone. And it takes up to 15 minutes to come back to that productivity phase you've been before. So we at Atlassian, we have made some stats. So here are some numbers I want to share with you. You can get the numbers on our time waster, atlas.in/timewaster. And so the first thing is 2 hours per day. We're spending 2 hours per day just recovering from distractions. 2 hours per day. And then the next number is even though it's that impressive, 80% of all interruptions are considered trivial. So it's just 1 hour, 40 minutes we lose just because of distractions that are not relevant for us. So really, so what can we do? So let's see. These are 2 office designs. Well, on the right-hand side, we have just a corridor with some doors, and let's assume 2 or 3 people working behind that doors, and it's a perfect flow environment. People can close the door. It's a natural border. People won't come in that easily. You can turn off your phones. So it's a perfect flow environment. And then on the right-hand side, we have the Atlassian office here in San Francisco, and we designed it as an open space office. And it's awful for flow, isn't it? I mean, really, people are walking around, they can tap on your shoulder and disturb you. But here's the thing. Software development is not just about programming and getting into the flow and being productive. It's actually more about collaboration. We have to work together as a software team. We have to work together with the testers. We have to work together with the designers. We have to collaborate. We have to talk about our architecture with other software developers. So it's actually more about collaboration than actual just coding. So how do we balance these things that we, on one hand, want to get into the flow, and on the other hand, we have to collaborate? How do we balance these things? So before I joined Atlassian, I was leading a group of 8, I think it was 8 software developers, and we did something we called the do not disturb time. So we had a few hours at the day where we said from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m., we're closing the doors. So we were sitting with 8 people in one room, so we closed the doors, totally closed the doors, and had our do not disturb time. When we come back from lunch, we just went in our do not disturb time. Cool. And all our meetings and stand-ups and collaboration things we put in the morning. And we were really looking forward to that time where we were really productive. We know, okay, we are answering emails now, we can do that, and then in the afternoon, we have our really productive time. We can code the hell out of it. So we had a rule that we said, okay, we turn off the phones, that nobody got disturbed in the room from a phone ringing. Some people turned off their email clients and their chat clients, and then we got into the flow. So how did it went? Well, the first week was, of course, awful. It was awful. People were knocking at the door saying, hey, how's it going? And we say, haven't you seen the sign at the door? We have flow time. We're not allowed to come in now. Say, we thought it was a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. But after 1 week, it was silent. And I was surprised. I was just going to another team next door. I wanted to talk to somebody and wanted to knock at the door. And there was a sign all of a sudden. Oh, we are in flow time. So it really spread all of our department. That was cool. So if that sign, restricted area keep out, doesn't work for you, maybe you can pretend there's a disease in your room. Maybe that helps. Could be. Or pretend there are dangerous animals in the room, so please keep out. So that could help. But sometimes it's also, in the flow time, it's actually also time to sit down and talk. We need some time. So if we want to solve something, we need some time to talk. So how do we do not disturb the rest by it? So and we are at Atlassian using chat for this. Who's using chat at work here? Okay, 70%. Good. So I will share with you how we use chat. So actually, chat is great for silent conversations, and people can stay in the zone. So you can chat with other people, and people are not disturbed by when you chat. Other people can stay in the zone. So this is perfect. And we at Atlassian have a lot of chat rooms, and we can connect not just with people in the rooms. We can also connect with people somewhere else, which is brilliant. And we have chat rooms for everything. We have, for example, a Confluence developer chat room, where the Confluence developers are hanging out and discussing about code changes. And actually, they have an integration to Bamboo, so they can see when the build fails in that chat room, or integration to a Stash, where they can see, oh, there's a new pull request coming up. So that's where the Confluence developer hang out. And then our design team has also a dedicated chat room where they share their mock-ups, their designs, and can discuss about that. And then there's, for example, also an enterprise chat room where when I have a question from a big company and I cannot answer that, I just hop into that enterprise chat room and they answer my question, and I can close the enterprise chat room again because I'm not interested in all these conversations there, and I can give the answer back to my enterprise customer. This is pretty cool. And then we have something like a beer drinker and cat lover chat room. I don't know. I've never done that. I've never been there. But yeah, it's Atlassian. And the cool thing is with chat, you can just pull people into conversations silently. So you just mention somebody, and if he don't want to be disturbed, if he want to be in this flow, he turns off his chat client and his email client, so he doesn't know that he was mentioned, but he can jump later into the conversation. So just by mentioning somebody. Yeah, and that's actually it. If you don't want to be disturbed, if you want to be in the flow, you can turn it off. You can totally turn it off and turn it on later and see what's happening and jump into the conversation. You don't lose the conversation. You can jump in later because it's a permanent chat where you can look what's happening in the chat room. So there's a talk in room number 2 at 10 a.m. Work in pajamas. When you want to learn more about how they use chat in Tridia, so go there. So let's make a reality check. So I'm doing that at the end of each thing. I'm going to present. I'm doing a reality check. I give away feasibility points, which means how easy is that to implement in a corporate environment. And I've done that in a relative conservative environment, and I will give it a 4 out of 5 superheroes here. Awesomeness points, and that explains how great your team will be, and I will give it a 2 out of 5. So I mean we have to work concentratedly anyway. So 2 out of 5, I think that's fair enough. Okay, let's do thing number 2, and thing number 2 is feed your brain. And we, as working in the IT business, we have to learn constantly. I mean, Google is coming out with a new programming language nearly every week. There's a new web framework, and we have to know that. We have to know that stuff as software developers. If we can use this web framework or this programming language, is it ready for production? We have to know that stuff somehow. So we have to learn constantly. We have to read constantly. And how do we do that? Well, you actually did the right thing. You came to Atlassian Summit, and this is perfect. Going to conferences is perfect. You learn so much stuff, and you go home and try out these things. So this is a perfect for learning directly. But I actually did this presentation in Denmark at a conference, and somebody came afterwards to me and said, yeah, that's great that people can go to conferences, and we actually have 100 software developers, and our boss invited everybody to go to this conference. But we're just 10 people here. We're just 10 people that really went. So how do we motivate the rest that's not going to these conferences? So how do we motivate them also to learn, and how do we bring them into the learning cycle? So I did something like I organized coding sessions. So I went to a conference in 2009 where I heard the first time about Scala, and I thought, oh, this is a great programming language, really good. So I came back and said, hey guys, we can sit one day in a week together and hack on Scala. That would be fun. So we knew that we couldn't use that in production right now, so we wanted to try it out. And we learned also at these days that Scala was not ready. So there was no really tooling, but it was fun. We learned the programming language, so for half a year we sat together, ordered some pizza each Tuesday evening from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. We sat together and hacked some Scala. That was really fun. After half a year we said, okay, now we're trying something else, so we tried JavaFX. So we actually, but here's the thing. we also, not the whole team came, because some people wanted to stay with their family. Some people had football training, soccer training, how it's called here in the US. Not everybody came. So what can we do to get these people into the learning phase? How can we motivate them to learn more? So we're doing that heavily at Atlassian. We're doing brown bags. And brown bags are talks during the lunchtime. So somebody's organizing a presentation and then giving the presentation during lunchtime. The good thing is there's no spare time involved, so we have to get our food anyway. And there's actually there's not that much preparation time involved. It's just a small presentation. So this is cool. The company is it's not work time involved. This is also very important. So this is actually a brown bag in Sydney, Australia, from at Atlassian about Git, and you can see that here that this guy is coming with a brown bag to the brown bag. I mean, that's why it's called brown bag. So, but I told you, I was working for a small software team, 8 people, and we were also trying to do brown bags, and we actually ran out of steam after 3 meetings. Because we were just 8 people and we couldn't prepare all this presentations all the time. So what we did is actually we watched videos from conferences. All these videos here at Atlassian Summit are taped, so you can watch them later together with your team. Also this talk and show them how to make good teams great, for example. But there's so much good stuff out there. So we picked a talk, watched it together, and had a small discussion afterwards. So, and this doesn't involve any preparation time. If you combine it with a brown bag, there's no spare time and work time involved. So this is really perfect, and that's also why I give away 5 points here. There's no excuse to not do it. Awesomeness points, yeah, we have to read constantly, we have to learn constantly. Well, so I give it a 2 out of 5. Okay, next thing. And next thing is, say well done. So I've been working for some companies, and companies are actually good in celebrating the big goals. Yeah, we got 1,000 customers, woo! Or we got 1 million in revenue, let's do a party. And then I was at these parties, the CEO rocked up the stage and said, hey, you did a great job, awesome, great, let's party. And I was staying there in the crowd. With maybe 100, 500 people. And I always thought, oh, I did so much to reach that big goal we reached. So I didn't really feel connected to that big goal we reached. So we actually should appreciate also the small things. Really, the small things. When somebody worked for 2 hours, 3 hours more just to get this feature into the release, we should appreciate that too. Because actually, appreciation is so important for the happiness. It's really the motivator that drives us every day to work. We're want to get appreciated for what we do at work. It's so important for our happiness. And appreciation should actually be made public, not just the boss that says. We should not just the boss that goes to the guy and says, hey, by the way, you did a good job. No, everybody should know that. Hey, this guy here, he did a great job. He's awesome. He's good. He really he worked 3 hours more and got the feature into the release. Awesome. That's good. And appreciation should be actually for everybody, not just the boss that says, hey, you did a good job. You did a good job. And you did a good job. No. Everybody should appreciate everybody. And it should be actually without any approval. We don't want to have approval for that. It should be, everybody should appreciate everybody. I don't want to go to my boss and say, hey, Thomas did a good job. And my boss says, well, yeah, Thomas, this time he did a good job, but normally Thomas sucks, really. I don't want to appreciate him. So, should be without any approval. So at Atlassian, we're giving away kudos. So this is from our extranet. Feel free to recognize someone for something awesome they have done. No approval required. To recognize a colleague, please click here. And if they click here, they end up actually in Jira, in Jira Service Desk. And we're using Service Desk for that. And then you can just enter the name, your guy you want to appreciate. You say, OK, he did a good job. He rocked the feature into the release. And by the way, he likes to go to the cinema. So, and 2 days later, this guy has a card on his desk. Well, kudos from Sven. You did a really great job. And here are some cinema tickets. Enjoy. And I'm just pressing the submit button and not doing anything more. And then it takes me maybe 30 seconds to give away kudos. And then, sorry. And then our talent department takes care of the rest of it. So, okay, let's have a look at the reality check. That's pretty awesome from Atlassian that we do that, I think. It's a little bit hard maybe in a big company to implement that, but we can think it a little bit also a little bit small. Maybe just get a budget for it, a small budget for cinema tickets or wine or whatever you want to give away, and make it just inside your team. So awesomeness points, well, appreciation is really, really important for our happiness and for our motivation. So I will give it a 3 out of 5. Okay. Now we're already thing number 4, report robot. I spend so much time with doing project reports. It's really amazing. So I have to do it. I had to do it every 2 weeks, and I had to pick I had to pick data from everywhere, from our SAP system, from Jira, and then from another time tracking system, and combine that into a Word format project report, and send this off to my boss, and send him the link to this report. And he read it fine. But the boss of my boss, I don't know. I'm not sure if he really read my reports, if he knew what's going on in our software department. And then actually, more important, I sent also the link to my team. And I asked my team recently, hey, did you ever read my project reports? And no, we received the link, but yeah, went in the trash. So we at Atlassian, we are actually wild about collecting data. We are wild about that. We are collecting everything we can get. We collect, for example, the time we're working on a feature, the features that we completed or the story points that this feature have, how many code reviews we did, how many lines of code we did review and how many lines of code we didn't review, how many builds succeeded, how many builds failed, and more important, how long is the build time? Because if we see the build time is going up, we have to do something. We introduced something here. Then the test server performance, so we are deploying automatically on our test servers. We're measuring that. We're measuring the velocity for Scrum teams, the cycle time, and the lead time for Kanban teams. But we're not stopping here at software development. Also, our marketing department is measuring, of course, measuring the sales and collecting the data for that. We're measuring how many evaluations got downloaded and installed. How was the traffic on our website, and how many ads our customers or our potential customers have clicked. And we don't stop there in marketing. We are also measuring in our support how many support cases came in, how is the customer satisfaction, how is the response time. But we don't stop there. Also, our talent department is measuring how many applicants applied for a job, how many phone interviews we did, yada, yada, yada. I mean, this list is endless. We're collecting really, really all data we get. All this data get collected and get into our green zone database. And then we can actually make queries on that data. We can do queries on that data and make things like, we use the SQL macro for Confluence, and we can make our automatic project reports. And at Atlassian, I think 70% of the employees can write SQL statements, and if you don't know how to write SQL statements, there's probably a guy sitting next to you that can do that. So this is pretty easy to make an automatic project report. And the good thing is this is real life data. It's actual data. I don't have to do that report every week or every month. It's actual data, and I can see the sales from last week compared to this week directly. But there's one thing with that. And I already told you, I sent this project reports to my team, and they didn't read it. I can send the link also to my team, but I don't think they go into extranet and read all these reports. They don't do that. So what can we do? Well, we are also wild about sharing our data. And we have information radiators all over the place. So information radiators at Atlassian are TV screens that show actual data of the current sprint, for example. So this term information radiator comes from Alistair Coburn. So this is a typical wall board we have with a burn down chart and what's going on in the current sprint, how many days left. This is from our extranet team. Has this wall board where you can see the performance of extranet, and if there's something happening, we have to do something. And then this is a wall board of our support team. You can see in red the support cases that are currently escalating, and the TV down there is showing a Twitter stream. We are also answering support cases via Twitter. So let's do the reality check. Well, we have, I think, 1.5 person at Atlassian that cares about this database, that take care about all this stuff, interfacing to the different systems we have and collect the data. So this is pretty awesome. That's why I give it feasibility points a 2 out of 5. Maybe it's a little bit hard to do that somewhere else. But awesomeness points, it's so important for short feedback cycles that we do that. So I would give it a 4 out of 5. Okay, thing number 5, eat your own dog food. So let's step away a moment from software development and assume we're dog food producers. And we have this awesome new dog food out, and we want to test that somehow. So what can we do? How can we test our dog food? Well, we can get 20 dogs in one room, test the dog food, and see how the tail is going, maybe. Maybe give them a competitor dog food and see what the dog likes more. But is it not better just to think like a dog, to have the taste like a dog, and to actually become a dog and eat your own dog food? Try it yourself and try it and say, there's a little bit salt missing. That's even better. But be aware, if you do that, maybe you also will look like your dog afterwards. I don't know. Anyway, so go back to software development. Dog fooding is actually alpha testing. Dog food is alpha testing your software. So if you have just a milestone, put it out on test servers. This is dog fooding, and the whole company is actually testing this software. Does anybody know this pub? What has that to do with dog fooding? Well, San Francisco. It's a San Francisco pub. So I actually met Hodges, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's around the corner, mate." Yeah, okay. What has that to do with dog fooding? It's actually the pub where they found the iPhone 4 before it was released. So we know that Apple is also dog fooding their own iPhones. But actually, dog fooding is about understanding your customer. If you try the software yourself, you understand your customer better. You think like your customer. And if your customer comes to you and said, "Can you please fix this 3 steps I have to do in 1 step?" and you said, "Yeah, we're currently working on the database, so maybe we do it later," and your customer looks like this, "You don't understand me. Fix this, please. It's really I'm doing that 20 times a day. It's really a hassle." Then maybe it's time to dog food your own software. But be aware, it's also painful, because actually we know where our software is not that good, in which areas we know that, and it's painful if we get feedback, or if somebody next to you tries it and says, "Oh no, this is not good. You have to fix that." It's a little bit painful. So be aware of that. It can be painful. But the good thing is about dog fooding is that it's about fast feedback. It's really fast feedback cycles. So if your releases are a little bit expensive, for example, if you have a download software and you release a new software, dogfooding is actually pretty good. Or if you have a server downtime every time you release something, dogfooding is pretty good because you test it before your customer tests it, and you find mistakes before your customer finds it. And this is really great with dogfooding. It's about fast feedback. So we are actually dogfooding at Atlassian. We use Confluence in our extranet. Extranet is the heart of Atlassian. And me as a remote worker, it's really, I get all my information from extranet. And if extranet is down, nothing works for me. And we are using the newest version on extranet every time, the newest version of Confluence. Sometimes it's a little bit painful because it doesn't work. Sometimes a button appears and then next day it's gone again, things like that. But it's really great. For example, for Confluence 4, we had introduced a new keyboard shortcuts. And I found out that they didn't work on my German keyboard. So they have never tried it on a German keyboard. I'm the only one at Atlassian with a German keyboard. We would have never found the bug before we would have released it. But we found it before because I reported that bug. So this is dogfooding. So let's do a reality check. Well, we are Atlassian. We're doing software development tools by using our own software development tools. So this is pretty easy for us to dogfood. It could be a little bit harder for some people here to dogfood their software, but that's why I give it a 2 out of 5. But also there, go to your customer half a day each week and try the software yourself together with your customer. Awesomeness points, well, I give it a 5 out of 5. Fast feedback, you understand your customer better. That's really great. Next thing, do a special day. Take a day off and do something special. We have so many things in our backlog that we know we have to do, but we keep pushing that down. We say, yeah, I know we have to do that, but maybe next iteration or the iteration afterwards, I don't know. So it's about unpleasant things, and it's about like in real life when my wife says to me, hey Sven, please clean up the hobby room. Please clean that hobby room. Yeah, I know I have to do that. Not next weekend because I'm out with my guys, and maybe the weekend after. And I keep pushing that away. Or I know I have to make an appointment at the dentist, and I say, yeah, when I come back from San Francisco, I'm doing that. Yeah, maybe then I'm on another conference, so I'm doing that afterwards. So I keep pushing that. Or my wife says, okay, let's meet my parents, and say, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, great. Next week, no, the weekend after, no, yeah, you got it. So and it's like what we have in our backlogs, unpleasant things. So we should forget for the sprint just for one day, and take those things out. So for example, who's a software developer here? Are software developers here? Please keep your hands up. Who like to do documentation? Out! Come on, you're not a software developer. Okay, yeah. So we are doing at Atlassian. We're doing what we call dog sprints, and dog sprints is a 1-day or 2-day event where our technical writers they invite us to do documentation, and then. They help us to write this documentation. So they say, okay, you document this feature, you document this feature. So they help us to write this documentation. And then at the end of the day, they provide us with chocolate and all nice things, with food and drinks and massage and all this stuff. So we feel comfortable as software developers. And at the end of the day, they're taking all this documentation, make their special thing with it, their wording, what they are good at, and make a nice design, what we suck at as software developers. And then they don't come back. The good thing is they don't come back to us. Because we have written the software, they don't ask, is that the right thing? What they normally do. We have written us, so they don't bother us anymore. So this is a dog sprint. And then we're doing something we call Blitz Test. And this is even shorter. It's just 2-3 hours where we invite the whole company, marketing, finance, whoever wants to join to make together with us the Blitz test, and we have some fearless testers. And then also our QA department says, or QA people says, okay, you group, you're going to test this feature, you're going to test this feature, you're going to test this feature, and then they collect all the feedback and remove duplicates and prioritize the backlog at the end of the Blitz test. This list can go on and on. You can do a cleanup day, clean up your software for one day, do a refactoring, things like that. And this is really about getting stuff out of the door, getting stuff done. I mean, we have to do these backlog items anyway, so we just get them out of the door, and sometimes they look like 20 story points, and if we tackle them, they are just small. So go out of your normal working environment, get a meeting room somewhere or a hotel somewhere, and do a special day. Do something special that it also feels special. And it's amazing what you can do in one day. So reality check, feasibility points, I mean, these are things we have to do anyway. We have to do documentation, we have to do testing. So 5 out of 5, there's no excuse not to do it. Awesomeness points, yeah, well, I will give it a 3 out of 5. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is experimentation time. So when I went to my boss and said, I have this awesome idea in my head, and I want to do that, and it's great, it's a great idea. And he said, I don't get it. I said, why do you not get it? It's great, it's awesome. I said, I don't get it. Do a prototype and show me what your awesome idea is. So, and we all know we never get time for doing prototypes. So what can we do? Well, Leonard Bernstein, he said once, to achieve great things, 2 things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. And this is what it's all about with Atlassian ShipIt Days. So Atlassian ShipIt Days, it's a 24-hour hackathon, and it's time for us to work on our innovation, our own ideas. But it's actually not just about innovation. It's actually more about motivation. Because I can work on my own idea. I want to see my own idea in the product. So I can work on that. And this is what ShipIt Days is actually about. So first, on a ShipIt Day, we start with the idea. And we have this idea, and we gather together around in a brown bag, actually, in a brown bag session where we collect all the ideas, and then teams are gathering around an idea. We have the ideas on a whiteboard, and then teams are gathering around and say, oh yeah, that's great. Or you can work on your own idea. If you don't find a team, you can also work on your own idea and work on that in your ShipIt Day. And from this idea, we write a page up in Confluence where we place this so-called ShipIt order. So we write everything down we want to do. This is the shipment order for the in Stash, where you can compare 2 pictures. This was a ShipIt Day project that ended up in our product, actually, where you compare 2 pictures from 2 different versions. And this is the shipment order. So we're writing the shipment order. And this is actually our plan. So remember, plan, Leonard Bernstein, plan and not quite enough time, 24 hours. And then one day before the ShipIt Day, we get together and make our sprint planning. So we have the plan and the sprint planning. And then on a Thursday, 3 p.m., the ShipIt Day starts. And it's a little bit like Jack Bauer in 24. It's amazing what he experienced in this 24 hours, what he does all in this 24 hours. I mean, he's jumping out of planes or saving nuclear power plants, all this stuff. It's amazing. And it's also amazing what people can do in 24 hours, if they are really motivated, what they can code in 24 hours. It's amazing what's coming out of a ShipIt Day. Jack is saying, this is the longest day of my life. We say more, this is the coolest day of this quarter. We're doing this every quarter, and it's really cool. It's really great. So Thursday, 3 p.m., we start, go, code the hell out of it. We fork our code base and work on it. And we work, some people work through the night. Some people go home at 12, come back at 6. And then at 3 p.m. Friday, we meet again, and actually we present our ShipIt Day results, what we did. We show that. We make lightning talks. We show that to the people at Atlassian. And then we vote for the ShipIt Day winner, which is also an app we developed at ShipIt Days. So we use that. And then we are all going home. Maybe we end up in a pub, but we are totally tired. So yeah. What do you get out of a ShipIt Day? So what do you get out? So first, you get out innovations. And people see that at Atlassian. People see the innovation ideas, and product managers see this and say, oh, that's an awesome idea. We need that in the product. But another thing, and I think a more important thing we get out is happy nerds. We're totally motivated to see your idea become true. That's really great, even though it doesn't end up in the product, but you showed your innovation idea you had in your head to other colleagues. So that's really great. So you get innovation and motivation. But there's also something we get out of a ShipIt Day, and that's actually crappy code. It's not maintainable. It's very unstable, and it's actually not a final product at all. So what we want to actually achieve is good code, maintainable, stable features, and really nice for the product. And if our product manager doesn't say, well, we put that in the backlog and do that as a team together, what can you do? Well, at Atlassian, we get 20% time for working on our own ideas. It just has to do something with, it need to have to do something with our products. That's the rule. But we can totally work on our own ideas in the 20% time. So this is 20% of our time we can use for whatever we want. So for our innovation, it's our innovation time. It's independent time. We can take it whenever we want. It's our own time. So it's pretty cool. But how does it go at Atlassian? I said we're measuring everything at Atlassian. Of course, we're measuring also 20% time. But first, I want to show this, because this is actually a 20% time project that JML, our VP of engineering, did, sharing pages with groups. He was so annoyed that he couldn't do that he did that in this 20% time, and it actually shipped in the last Confluence version. So, but as I said, 20% time measuring. It's more 5% time or 6% time when we measure it. So not everybody's taking that 20% time. So why is that? Actually, it's because of, it's like this. So you have the cat and can't decide, should I catch the mouse or should I catch the bird? I don't know. And it's actually like this for software developers. So we have sprint goals. So we're working on our sprint goals, and we don't want to let our teammates down by using our 20% time. We want to reach our sprint goals. So this is a problem. And then we have sometimes heavy workload, where we say, OK, we have to get this release out. We have to fix a lot of bugs. So we have to get this out of the door. So we're not using our 20% time right now. And then it's about dependencies, where we have dependencies. I mean, we're working maybe together with another colleague on his 20% time, and he has no time because he's working on another sprint goal. So all these conflicts makes us stopping using our 20% time fully. So we started actually doing innovation weeks, and innovation weeks are a little bit like 20% time in a box, where we say, okay. For example, the Stash team is working in 6 weeks release cycle, so they're doing 5 weeks working on the product, release the product, and then take 1 week off. They use this week for their innovation time. I know it's not really 20%, but it's our innovation week, and they just have their backlog for the week and use their innovation ideas, work on their innovation ideas during the innovation week. And then maybe if they finish it, it can make it directly into the next release of Stash. So this is Innovation Week. OK, let's do the reality check. Well, taking 1 day off per quarter, or maybe also just each half year, should be possible. I mean, look at what you get out of it. I mean, you get happy nerds, innovation. I mean, we need innovation in our products anyway, so I would give it a 4 out of 5. Which innovation weeks or 20% time, it's a little bit harder to put that in a corporate environment. So maybe 2 out of 5, but I'll leave it with that. Awesomeness points. Well, it's so great to see your innovation idea. It's so motivating. It makes you really great if you work on your innovation ideas. So I would give it a 5 out of 5. These were the 7 things. Thing number 1 is flow time. Thing number 2, feed your brain. Thing number 3, say well done. Also appreciate the small things. Report robot. Collect the data and make automatic product reports. Eat your own dog food. Use your software yourself. Understand your customer better. Do a special day. Take 1 day off to work on something that's already in your backlog. Experimentation time. Use some time, use 20% time, use time for innovation. So now you're leaving Summit. Where do you go from here with the 7 things? You should totally try it. Try one thing out. Take one thing that you mean this has the best impact or this is the easiest to implement. But be sure you will fail. I mean, maybe not with the first thing, but with the second thing, you will fail probably. But if you try it, you shouldn't be stupid. Don't be stupid by trying your things. I mean, it's like this guy on the bike. I mean, he went downhill, really, and he failed. You can see that. He fell down the bike. But he was not stupid. He was prepared. Look, he's wearing a helmet and some legs protectors. So he was prepared that this could happen. And please prepare also that you will fail. Time box, for example. Time box the thing and collect the results. Measure whatever you can. Measure as much as you can. Or just ask your teammates, does that really make us better? Do retrospective. So this is pretty important that you just don't run for half a year with this thing and think it makes you better. Talk about it. And then these things we're doing at Atlassian, and this is pretty cool, and Atlassian is also a special place to work, so you should totally make the thing yours. Try to make it yours. Try to adopt the thing. So it fits into your corporate environment. And why all this stuff? Of course, to make your good team great, to keep your people, but also to attract new people. It would be so cool if you can say in a job interview, yeah, here at our place, you can get each quarter for 1 day we're doing a hackathon, we're working on our own innovation. It will attract new people to your company. So try to make your good teams great, and thanks for your attention. Thank you.